In this week's Bleach, has evil been defeated?
We came, we saw, we kicked its ass!
Bleach, chapter 684, The Blade, picks up with Ichigo using his Getsuga Tensho to slice through Bak.
Presto, you're dead.
Bak and Ichigo share an odd little stare down until Bak becomes nothing but a puddle of eyes on the ground.
What happened?
I won.
Then Aizen comes over to compliment Ichigo on responding so quickly to Kyoka Soigetsu, which he activated before everyone arrived. He confirmed it would interfere with the Almighty's clairvoyant powers, and the final component was Ichigo, who's unaffected by its power.
You should be very proud.
Shut the fuck up, you piece of shit.
Aizen can't believe how not showing Ichigo Kyoka Soigetsu would have paid off like this. He calls out to him, but suddenly he is swept up from behind.
He's right behind me, isn't he?
Ichigo yells to him, but it's too late. Bak is covering the entire ground and begins to wrap up around Aizen.
It's kicking in my butt!
Bak reforms his body and mocks the caliber of Ichigo's previous attack. Remember, his power is to alter the future itself. We know.
Shut up!
He can even rewrite futures in which he's died. Ichigo tries to attack, but shocker, Bak breaks Tensa Zangetsu again.
That's it! There is a limit to how much I can take!
Ichigo goes to grab Tensa Zangetsu, but Bak stops him in his path and attacks him.
You're gonna die!
The Seirete is engulfed in darkness and starts to spread to the outside. Bak claims this to be the end, as this world and Soul Society will lose their form and become one.
You will bow down before me!
But there's that silver arrow that bursts through Bak's chest. It was fired, of course, by Ishida, who has also joined the Soul Society party.
This doesn't look like a party at all. The overall vibe is way too rapey.
Ishida remembers hearing his grandfather once say that the clot formed in the heart after Oswalin was called still silver. If that silver were mixed with the blood of the one who performed Oswalin, his powers would stop for an instant.
What can I say? Circle of life, circle of death, huh?
Ishida tells Ichigo to go for the kill, but Bak doesn't seem to care that he's lost his powers for an instant.
You can't win.
Why won't you die?
It looks as though Ichigo won't be able to stop Bak in time as Tensa Zangetsu begins to crumble, but then something amazingly odd happens.
I don't know what the hell's going on in the most wonderful way.
Bak sees Shikai Zangetsu and realizes that the time from before wasn't just a dream. Poshwalth was trying to show him the future.
You didn't see that coming?
And once more, Ichigo slices through Bak, seemingly defeating him for good.
It's over now.
Well, you all obviously know by now that this is probably the second to last chapter. If this is the true penultimate chapter of Bleach, I found it okay. Didn't love it, didn't hate it. It was nice to see Ichigo and Aizen talk as comrades rather than enemies, despite being very brief. It looked as though Bak took over Aizen's body to regain his own. If that is the end of Aizen, I will be extremely pissed off. I can't imagine him just kinda showing up out of the darkness next week and thanking the Hogyoku for saving him, but you never know. The whole silver arrow thing does seem to come off as a Deus Ex Machina, seeing as it was brought up like 2 chapters ago, but I didn't mind it. The silver being in Quincy's heart was hinted at in a flashback Ishida had, but it having the power to stop Bak's powers seemed crammed in there. And honestly, I don't know what is going on with Ichigo's original Shikai being inside Tensa Zangetsu. I thought the original Shikai was the form that old man Zangetsu created to suppress Ichigo's real Shinigami powers. But with Ichigo's Quincy powers gone, I'm not sure how or why his Bankai reverted to that original Shikai. Kubo has so much to explain with just 1 chapter left.
No rational person would do as you have done. Explain yourself.
Now, I really hope we get double chapters next week. I am very frustrated with how this is all coming to an end. I don't want to go on a rant about my feelings on this rush until I've read the final chapter. If we're given the ending we deserve that wraps everything up in a nice little bow, I may be okay. If not, I'll dive deeper next week in the final review, which I think will be a live reaction. I've never done one, but I'm gonna give it a shot because I think Bleach deserves it. I'll add in some sound bites after the reaction, but don't be surprised if they're toned down more.
And that's the way the news goes.
So I'll give this chapter a 7 out of 10. Aizen's fate is currently unknown, Ichigo's original Shikai returns, and it looks like Bak is finally dead. For my question of the week, how do you explain the reappearance of Zangetsu? Is it part of Ichigo's Bankai? Favorite comments will be featured in the final review. Here are last week's winners. Alright, that does it for me. Remember to comment, like, subscribe, and follow me on Twitter. I'll be back next week with a live reaction to the Bleach finale. Peace!